Alright, hey guys, so I wanted to start another vlog. Been thinking about, doing this for a while where I just, do a walk and talk. I'm back in America right now. And yeah, so I can just make some videos for like learning English or something. Oh, I need to walk on this side of the road. And yeah, just talk about life. So I think the first thing I want to talk about is like, would I come back to China and teach? So yeah, I'm a little sick right now. I got sick and then I had a sore throat while I was on the plane, and I thought it was just because the AC was too strong. But when I got back, then I felt bad and I had maybe like a slight fever or something. So now I feel better, but I'm still a little stuffy. But yeah, anyway, so I've been in America for a couple of days now and finally getting used to the time. So right now it's nighttime in China. And I'm looking for a job again. So, because me and my girlfriend, we don't really know what we're gonna do. Like, I kind of just want to stay in the US, and I'll say why. But for her, she's a little unsure. I think it was a little too short notice because I can't really talk about everything in detail yet because I haven't, got my money yet for my last job. But the job decided not to renew me, and honestly I didn't really want to stay anyways, but they're supposed to like pay some money for that, so we're kind of like fighting them right now. But for, I guess, legal reasons, they couldn't tell me directly that they're not going to renew me. So because of that, it was I was like unsure of what to do for like the longest time. I was unsure like if they offer me another contract. Ooh, keeps doing that. I was unsure if they offer me like another contract, if I should stay or not, or if I will want to stay, or like what the best course of action would be. But I guess it's overall a good thing that I didn't get, renewed again, because I didn't particularly want to stay. So, because it's so short notice, we don't really have time to do a big transition. It's kind of like dropping everything and just going. Because if I had have known, like I was going to come back to the US and like leave in the way that I did, not finding another job before, then yeah, I would have did some things differently. And the issue was that my visa expires on June 30th. So I think it's good for the school because they don't have to pay for like insurance and other expensive things that they have to pay to hire foreigners. Like they don't have to pay for it longer. But if you don't renew with them, it's really not good, because it basically means you have to stay another month in China in the summer vacation and then get all your things sorted out so you can have another job, and just transfer all your documents. So for me, it's kind of like unsure if I can, like if I can still transfer my visa and stuff, or it's going to be a situation where I have to like redo all my documents. But for me, it doesn't really matter because I'm back in the US now and I'm just feeling like a lot better, eating better. It's nice to see like real nature and things are quiet, back in like a town like this. The only bad thing is can't really go anywhere. But I feel like since we came already, since like we were here last summer, and that was like after like 4 years of not being in the US, 2019 to 2023. So yeah, a really long time. So after not being in the US for that long, I guess we came back and I didn't really know what to expect. So what did I do all summer? Basically I just learned languages. But at that time, man, I think it's because it's not center. So let me see what happens if I put it more in the center, but it's gonna hit the power button. And I want to do it in one take. All right, let's try again. All right, so it's more in the center. All right, so there we go. So basically, yeah, I wasn't in the US for a long time, so I forgot, like, you know what, like, American life was like, so to speak. But you know, it's like you kind of just stay at home for the majority of the time. At that time, I didn't know how much money to convert to. Well, I'm sweating now. Yeah, it's hot, but funny enough, I feel like it's a lot cooler than China. And it's 95 degrees, which is like probably past 30 in Celsius. Yeah, but I didn't really know what to expect. And then, I like blew through the money way too fast. I thought I had way more money. So this time I'm saving, and I'm just prepared to be at home longer. So I even bought weights so I can still work out and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, we just blew through the money. We did like a little traveling. We went to like Virginia Beach, which is not that great of a place, honestly. But yeah, you know, American life, it's just like you kind of stay at home. A lot of driving because the transportation's not that good. And, you know, going out to the store and like you need something, you have to go to like 3 stores to find it and see if they have it. Because if not, then you have to get online, and maybe it's like even more expensive or less convenient. So yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now. So it's nice to be in China where everything is made. And it's funny when I see something and I see the price of it, it's like, oh man, if I was in China, I could get this for like, way cheaper. All right, I guess I'll just, do a full walk around. Maybe I'll go out later because I've been at home just, doing my thing for a long time. Just playing games and still learning languages, just watching like a lot of YouTube videos for different things and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just prepared, I'm gonna do like a lot of Pimsleur, but this time it's a little different because I guess I have some funds saved up, and the only thing I plan to spend money on is just language lessons, really. Other than that, just stay at home, work out, eat, sleep. I think like my health is gonna be a lot better because while I was in China, it's just like I'm eating like the same food all the time, and it's like I'm eating to live, right? But I'm not eating and like enjoying any of the food. I guess I should have got like cereal and other Western things, but I don't know, I was just being lazy, and because it's not convenient, I guess it was just hard for me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, even now I'm just really enjoying I haven't worked in the US, like had, like a teaching job or whatever, but it just feels like a lot more, I don't know how you say, wholesome, like holistic. Like, it's just like you're here to work and like have a good life. Whereas in China, I feel like the issue is like everybody else that is like struggling, right? Most Chinese are not making like 20,000, 30,000 like English teachers are. Even though our jobs aren't like the most complex, they're not making that much money. And I think it affects like how everybody is, because they are just like, not happy and tired, and just like kind of everybody's like absorbed in their own life. There's no time for hobbies or, enjoying other things. So I feel like just the whole environment was a little depressing. Unless you're like in a small city. I feel like in small cities, like people just have their family and it's still like they're working, and like I guess they're not making that much, but they at least seem happier. But where I was in Yiwu, it's just like a business city, and people just want to do business, and like they only want to talk to you for business reasons. And I really didn't like that. And then the other thing is the weather. Even though it's hot right now and I'm sweating a lot, I prefer that. I mean, it's not as humid. You can even see like it's like clearer too. Oh, the other thing is the air pollution. Yeah, the air here is really good, right? A lot of trees and nature. Just missed it. Just sick of waking up. I mean, it's nice to be in a city where you can do things and the buildings look nice, but when you can't eat good food and, find a relaxing place, a quiet place, kind of like this, it's just, yeah, really, towards the end, I just wasn't feeling it. I think the only way like things would be good is if I went to Shanghai or Hangzhou, but the issue with that is a lot of those schools, they just want white teachers because I guess like the parents really don't know that much about, you know, the US, and they just think everybody in the US is like white or whatever, or in Western countries too. So it's like I'm kind of like locked out from, I guess, the happier places. I avoided going to, you know, bigger cities because I wanted to learn Chinese, and, you know, after learning for so long, I just realized, you know, I'm a foreigner and it's nice. It comes in handy for like, you know, certain situations, but for the most part, like, I feel like locals, they don't really talk to you, right? I think the proudest thing that I did was I did an interview with Mandarin Corner right before I left, and it will come out soon. Maybe I can post it on my channel as well and try to clean up this channel because I just posted a lot of studying stuff, and that's kind of for me, but I think it'd be cool if I could make stuff for like everybody and then even post it like on WeChat or Bilibili or something. But yeah, like I feel like, you know, you just talk to your teacher. Talk to my Chinese teacher, have like deeper conversations. They want to talk to you, right? They trust you because they know you and stuff. But I feel there's just like a lack of like, you know, like locals, like in China, they just don't really trust foreigners. Like I say, like I'm from America, and then they're like, oh, well, you're black or something. And they'll like ask my girlfriend when we're together, oh, is that true? So yeah, just like the general feeling was like, all right, so I lost interest in the language. All I can do is read. Like, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, there's just like mainly doing input. That's the other thing I'm learning about like language learning, is now it's just input and output. I do like a lot more input, you know, watching stuff on YouTube. Yeah, watching a lot of YouTube videos for Korean and Japanese, and I've been trying to do like a lesson every single day. I think I'm gonna have to stop that now that I'm in the US, but I think that's okay because I have more time, and I just want to use like Google Translate and kind of do vlogs like this, or like how I did in Chinese, and it worked I think it's working pretty well for Thai. I was trying to do it before, but my Thai level wasn't that good. Now my Thai and Vietnamese, I'd say, I mean, it's not that great, but I can hold a simple conversation. When I go, I'll definitely struggle again, especially like in Thailand. But I think Thai is my other best language besides Russian. For me, the issue is I need to have some reasons to learn certain languages now. Thai is obvious because Thailand's awesome. And I feel like Thailand's like exactly, just reminds me of my hometown, but it's like in Asia. I think that's like the biggest thing that I like. Just reminds me of being in America. Like the public transportation isn't that great, so it's still, you know, mainly gas based. Like as you can see, there's just cars here. I was talking to my teacher today, and then she was like, oh, well, the supermarket's only like 10 minutes away. Why don't you like get like an electric scooter or something? And then I said, well, it's because it's like 10 miles away, or like a 10-mile round trip, which I think is, I don't know, it's like, I don't know in kilometers, but it's really far, like super far. So, you know, it'd take forever. And there's no, as you can see, the roads in America, it's basically just like this. Maybe on like the bigger highways or whatever, it will have like the two double yellow lines, but the roads are kind of small, and it's just like one way for one direction. If it was two ways, two directions would be so much better, but I don't know. I think it's because like, I don't know, the land or something, or the cost to make the, you know, the roads, I guess pay for the roads or whatever. It's just like this, so it's not that convenient. So everything that you want to do, you kind of have to drive for it. That's the other thing. So I'm just planning to kind of stay at home more and just enjoy everything. But I'm enjoying it for the most part. It's nice to not have to use like a VPN, and it's nice to just be able to like go in and use all these apps that I couldn't use before. I don't know what it is about like my Samsung phone, but it just can't run certain apps even with a VPN. So yeah, but that's why I'm thinking of Thailand, because it's like you don't really have to use a VPN. It reminds me of just like being like in a place like this. It's like there's quiet places, and then there's places with like a lot of foreigners and stuff. And I feel like it's just different. Like I feel like when I speak Thai in Thailand, maybe like some of the people respond in English, but they'll still like entertain me speaking Thai. Whereas in China, people for the most part, they'll respond in Chinese. Especially, I think like the English level is a lot worse in China compared to Thailand. But the thing is like, I think it's just like the closeness between foreigners and locals. It's just better in like other countries, or at least that's the impression that I have. Definitely in Thailand. I mean, there's places where there's not a lot of foreigners, but I feel like people were just more positive towards foreigners in general. Even the foreigners do some crazy things there, and almost like treat the country like it's like a playground or something. But I don't know. Anyways, that's why I'm learning Thailand. Yeah, I want to talk about why I'm learning specific languages. Vietnamese is kind of the same thing. Just heard good things about it. Similar to Thailand, a little cheaper or more expensive. I can't remember, but also very nice. And I think the other cool thing is like there's like a lot of Vietnamese in the US, like my barber, surprisingly. So I feel like it's just like a language that I can use a lot. Then there's Korean and Japanese. I think for the same, it's more similar to China, I guess, in terms of teaching, but also like really cool places to live. I think there's like military bases there, so there's certain areas with like a lot of foreigners too. Just like interesting, also good media, right? There's like K-pop, anime, Japanese music, K-pop, all sorts of good stuff. So eventually I will, try to get into that more. For Chinese, it was just like, I really don't like the music for the most part. I mean, there's certain songs that I like that were from, I think it's like more like Taiwanese Mandarin. But then I have to learn traditional characters to like use those apps and stuff. So I was just like, eh. Also, like the TV, I mean, it's okay, but a lot of it was like old stuff. I don't know why I like the older stuff, but you can even see from like their cell phones, like really old, like BlackBerry phones or something like that. So yeah. Okay, yeah, it's not falling, so I guess the issue was I didn't put the thing in the center, so it was unbalanced. Let me just turn my phone sound on just in case someone like needs to talk to me. Yeah, so here's Virginia. We haven't seen a car in forever. Here's like the main road. You see, you have like double lines like this. Also very small. I used to run out here all the time. I maybe even will go for a run, but I think I'll just bring out my skateboard and listen to music. But yeah, I just miss like the lifestyle like this. You wake up, everybody goes to work. Like, you have a nice house though, and like, look at this field, like nice and open, nature. When it gets dark, there's no like street lights, so you really feel like you're, out in the middle of nowhere. But I think nature is like good. I think it's like good for your, mental health and stuff. I think, look at this house. I think it's not even, I don't think anyone lives there. Maybe they do, but just old stuff like this. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like you're out in the middle of, I feel like it's completely different than China. It's like you're out in the middle of nowhere a little bit. So your house is nice, like you got like AC and really good internet, really fast internet, and like a big TV, like great entertainment and stuff. Whereas in China, it's like, I feel like it's the opposite. Like you need like less things because you can just go out and do stuff, right? But there's like here, like, you have to drive out to a cafe, sit down, get out your laptop and stuff, and then you're still kind of out in the middle of nowhere a little bit. So yeah, I think the reason why I think I would like to stay more so is just because I feel like the life is more chill a little bit. I think there's definitely less free time if I was to stay in the US, because you have to drive out to your work or your job every single day. And I want to work in like DC or in that area. And then during rush hour, I mean, it's probably going to take 2 hours one direction. So that's like 4 hours in a train or a car. But as I was saying in my lesson today, we do what we call it, like a slug, where it's what is it in Chinese? 拼车. Like, you get into somebody else's car so you can go into the express lane, or we call it the HOV. And then, so while someone else is driving, like, we're all going in the same direction. So while someone else is driving, you get to go in like the faster lane, and then you can, like, if for me, like, study on my phone or something, do something kind of fun. But yeah, I think the bad thing about the US is, like, at least for me, like, I have to stay with my parents because everything is so expensive. So it feels like a little less free because I'm still with my parents. And then the other thing is, like, if you want to do something fun, it's just kind of like a little bit of a hassle to, like, if you want to go where a bunch of people are, it's like a hassle. Yeah, I'd say it's kind of a hassle. Like, you can go to the city center, everything is way more expensive than here. And it's really not even that big. It's really just like one strip. Like, actually really just two main roads. And there's just a little bit more people there, but it's still, like, not the most fun place in the world. You can just eat, walk around, and then there's like a lot of like niche shops, like antique shops, I don't know, random soap shops, coffee shops, and then it's got like all these complex, dietary options like oat milk, coconut milk, and then, like, I don't know, when you get like a big cup of something, it could be like $7. So I think that's almost, what is that in renminbi? Like 42 renminbi for like one coffee. And it's kind of like, it's really expensive. And it's not that big. That's the other thing. It's not that big. And sometimes it's not even that good, but it's like crazy when you can go to like Starbucks or something, where Starbucks is cheaper here, and then get like a coffee for even like $1. Or you can just make it at home. So yeah, I've just been eating and drinking a lot better, fresh coffee, like really fine, like really good coffee, really good milk. And I've been eating way more than I was in China. So I'm definitely going to gain some weight, which is good, because I'm going to get exercising again real quick. Ooh, a butterfly came up out of nowhere. So yeah, and I just feel like things in the US is kind of like, I don't know, this is kind of like a philosophy, but things are like built to last, right? Like an American house, you're going to be out here for like 30 years. So you got to buy a good house with good infrastructure. It takes forever to build, but it lasts longer. Whereas in China, I think everything is just so fast. Like, you buy an apartment, maybe you will live there for that long, but then things kind of like get run down a lot quicker. Like the elevator button stops working or something. And so I like that. I feel like in those regards, like, being in the US, it's like a little bit more stable. So you know what to expect. Like, you get this job or you do this business, and people plan things out a little bit more, so you know it's gonna last. Kind of like training centers. People just open up training centers and then they die like in a year or something. Or training centers are dying right now. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know, like, for me to go back to China, it has to be like, I have to go to like a really good job, because I've just been spoiled over COVID, I think, too, right? Like pretty high pay, like, you know, over 25, I think almost, okay, so I'll just say before tax, almost like 30, making like 30,000, and so that's good. And then doing like about 20 classes a week. Doing those classes can really tire you out. Can really tire you out quickly. I mean, the other frustration about English teaching there is like, everything is not about English teaching or how good of a teacher you are. Hence, some people want, you know, white teachers only, because it's really more for marketing rather than actually teaching. So it's like your ideas about the job and work and like what it means to be working hard is completely different than what it is in the US. And even if you work hard, no one's really impressed, because, you know, like your local colleagues are doing like 12 hours and like overtime for free because they have to. So nobody is like really impressed when like a foreigner tries to, you know, prove themselves in those regards. Oh, eventually I'll go down here. This is the reservoir. Like, this is where like the water is. You can see kind of like a lake. Oh, yeah, there you go. Gravel road down there. So yeah, I mean, it's like, if I can't work hard, here's the thing. If I can't work hard, then you gotta like, and if I can't work hard, and like the base pay is like going down from 30 to maybe like 25, okay. I mean, it's still somewhat okay when you convert it back into USD and like you're living in China. There has to be some other appeal to make people like want to like go leave America and go there. And for me, the language, I already learned it to really probably the highest degree that I can. I mean, I can learn more, and I could like try to speak Chinese like every second of the day. And that, like, the hardest thing about Chinese for me is switching immediately, or so when someone talks to me without like a little bit of context, like when I answer the phone and then just like rush and like boom, right? Like if there's context, like, oh, I ordered food, oh, okay, then I can understand what he's saying through the context. In the same way that I would like with English. But I guess with English, I can guess the context if there is no context to a given situation, where in Chinese, because I'm not a native speaker, I don't really have that ability. So I mean, sometimes I still don't understand. It's like not perfect, but I think it's still pretty good. But I could like perfect it by doing more shadowing, doing more vlogging in Chinese, constantly be looking for new words. But the issue is, like, at the level that I'm at, it should just come naturally to do all these things. You know, I should just be naturally like learning words and just by existing in China. But the reality of, you know, what happened is people don't really speak that much. So there's certain words that you don't have access to. Like, for example, you go to the hospital, people will be trying to translate to English and speak English. Usually, like, you know, doctors and nurses are pretty highly educated, so they kind of want to use their English a little bit. So they're like trying to like make you understand in English, and it's just like not natural to where it's like, oh, I'm in China, people are going to speak, you know, Chinese. Kind of like if you're Chinese and you go to like some government department in the US, nobody's going to be speaking Chinese to you. And then if you don't understand, they'll try to like slow down or try to explain it to you, where you don't really get that gratitude in China, because you kind of just have a whole pass on learning Chinese, because many locals think like it's too hard for foreigners or something. So if you say anything at all, they're just blown away, because they thought like no one can really do it. But in situations like that are important, like money or involve the government, nobody's gonna trust you to do it. Even if you, like me, like I want to try, I want to be independent and do things myself, but I mean, I think I have a Chinese girlfriend, so I think the issue with that is like any serious situation, she's going to be involved. And then that's kind of like the issue. So maybe if I didn't have a Chinese girlfriend and I learned to this level, then I would have to do things by myself. But even with that, I think there's certain situations that you just can't handle if you're not Chinese. And I think that's like the reality of learning Asian languages. Even if I was literally half Chinese, you know, if you don't really look the part, it still can be a little troubling. And you feel like a foreigner, even if it was like I grew up in China because I was half Chinese or something. So, yeah. And what was I talking about? I forgot. I lost my train of thought. But let me say why I'm learning other things. So, yeah. So Chinese, just to learn. I wish there was things I was interested in more so that I could, you know, still have a reason for learning the language like actively. But now I'm just doing maintenance. Like it's like, oh, I feel like I can't speak like that well, even though I have been getting better. It's kind of like illusion when you're learning. So I'm like, okay, that's that. But Korean and Japanese, it's like I want to take that back to the US. Really want to develop those skills while I'm in the US. So I have just two languages knocked down. Russian, I wanted to do Russian. I was really excited. Could definitely learn to a high degree again, but there's just not like a lot of interest. Music is okay. It's okay, it's pretty good. But I think for Russian, it'd be like I'm learning because I'm like in China, but then I'm also separated from Russians because I'm like a native speaker and they're non-native. So when they learn, when they're working, we're separated again, right? Because you kind of like mixed into, it's like race, I think like race, age class, not native, non-native, passport. So just like naturally gravitate to like Americans and I guess Black Americans too while I'm in China. And I feel like there's certain issues that each group has while being in China. For Russians, it's technically breaking the law. So yeah, but I mean, I want to learn Russian again, but I have it kind of. It's kind of like I didn't do maintenance, but now I can't go to Russia or Ukraine. So that really only leaves like the former satellite states of the Soviet Union, which I guess I'm interested in too, but it's kind of just like I need to have an active community of a group of people or native speakers in order for me to be really excited to learn. I mean, I feel like Russian, it's like okay, but I need like a solid reason to learn again. I was doing like socionics and I was really into personality stuff before, and then now I just think it's all pseudoscience. So that's kind of what killed my interest in Russian. But also most interactions would have been in Russian, so I kind of just use Google Translate and proofread it because I actually understand what it's translating. So that's that. So Russian, my interest in Russian kind of went away. Spanish is another thing. I mean, for me, Spanish is it's like easy, but then there's like a lot of dialects and like a lot of slang. And then for me, it's like the same thing. I need to be close to a Spanish-speaking community where there really isn't any of that in China. So I'm just mainly interested in Asian languages, but Asian languages that I guess I can use more. Like Korea is like a really popular destination, so it feels like a good investment. Same with Japanese, even though they still have some problems similar to China where, you know, you're not a local, so you're treated differently. And then Thai and Vietnamese is also pretty good, but I think in those countries, like the English proficiency is like a lot higher than I feel like Korea and Japan. Although I feel like Korea is also, I feel like the proficiency level is pretty high too. So I think it depends. I'll have to check that out more. And I think they just feel like easy. I think they feel like really easy. And I think it's because it's like there's no hard grammar, right? It's really similar to English. It's just tonal. And then the only issue is there's not a lot of native speakers. So once again, there's not like that really big urge to learn, because like I'm missing out on opportunities to communicate with a certain culture. The other thing is like the media and music. I think Thai is pretty good, especially like on Netflix. Like these Thai shows are really good. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go home and check one out. And now that I'm in the US, I can actually, watch things without having to use multiple VPNs and stuff. And I can just get it off of Taobao. But anyways, Vietnamese, that's the issue. Not a lot of native speakers, although I feel like I'm close to a big Vietnamese community while being in the US, because I think there's like a lot of Vietnamese here, and it's even in my city, so that's another thing. But no good TV shows, no good music, really, in my opinion. So and then there's not even like a lot of stuff for learning it. So I really can just do like the number one way to learn is just get out Google Translate and then do a lesson. And then if I want to learn like a dialect or like Southern opposed to Northern, then I just have to have them correct me in the moment. And then I just watch those videos again. And then that's my like comprehensible input, or that's the main input that I have. So I'm just really not feeling like it's like good and it's there and I'll continue to learn, but it's not like I don't have this crazy urge, to learn or whatnot, because I feel like it's just I feel like it's just not that there's just not enough native speakers. So it really just leaves Korean and Japanese right now. And I'm kind of searching for something else because I'm getting a little bored. I mean, I have a long way to go. Actually, no, I think I'm bored with Thai and Vietnamese because I feel like my level is like, it's like good enough to, ask for a fork when I go to a restaurant or ask how much something is. So once I've got to this level, it's like, well, what else do I need to learn or do to kind of get to the next level? And I guess the only thing I could do is like role play with teachers, like where they act like they are, the waiter, or they act like they're in like some certain situation. But I think a lot of native speakers, or teachers, they don't really understand the situations that foreigners go through. Like why I don't understand when it's kind of like that in China too. It's like I said everything correctly, so why wasn't I understood? And then it turns out the issue is like something cultural, or like they did understand, but they didn't, like in their culture, you don't say no like directly or something. So then it's like just leads confusion. So I think the only time someone will understand is if they have a partner that's a foreigner. But then when they have a partner that's a foreigner, sometimes if that foreigner is not learning the language, this is my issue with like my current Vietnamese teacher, they're just really stuck on speaking English. So in the class, I'll ask them, don't speak, and then I had a Korean teacher and I just finished a package with them on iTalki yesterday, and I won't be learning with them anymore because I feel like when we speak, it's like I'm speaking, like we're speaking English with Korean grammar. And she's like, oh, you can just say the English word for this, or oh, you can say the English word for that. But then it's like, okay, well, if I can just use the English word, then we should still learn the Korean one. And it's really hard to get people to change their habits. I think it's like a subconscious thing, like subconsciously they're stuck on speaking like English to foreigners. So or like if I don't understand, then they naturally just gravitate towards, speaking. Oh, all right. Here's my childhood, or kind of childhood friend's house. Yeah, we weren't that close. Well, we were, but they're kind of mean, so we stopped talking to each other. I think their sister, someone has kids now. It's crazy. That was one of the biggest things that came up while I was in the US, is how everything changed so quickly. Like, I didn't expect, it's like crazy to think like, my brother or some of my siblings have kids now or something. It's just like weird. I thought everything would like freeze in time, but I come back and so many things have changed, Look at this, there's a deer. I don't know if I can get it. Yeah, that's how it is. I always used to come down here and play basketball, but now the basketball hoop is gone. This is one of my like go-to places because it's near my home. Just come here. Always still basketball hoop here. Yeah, and just used to come down here, put on some music and relax, and then just play basketball and stuff. And then you knock on somebody's door and they come out. Yeah, I'll still ride my bike around here. Yeah, I just played so many games here. I'm even on Google Maps here. Wow, look at this deer. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, there it is. If I walk closer, it would just run away. Yeah, see, there you go. Just run away like that. Wow. I disturbed them. I feel like it's kind of weird to have like a selfie stick in the US. I feel like there's like different rules on record. Wow. Everybody's cutting down their trees too. I want a sheriff lives here now. Or a police officer. It used to be like, there's so many trees here, but I think because they fall so often, everybody cuts them down. But yeah, there's different rules on recording. I feel like it's legal to record, but it's not polite. So I really wanted to do something like I go into Costco and I record. But I feel like if I do it, I'll be asked not to, especially with, I think there's kind of like an issue with YouTubers like going into the mall or something and doing these prank videos. So when people see cameras, they just associate it with something negative. But you know what? I think if I just put it in a cart and I move it around or something, then it'll be okay. Maybe I have to get 2 cameras, like one for the front and then one for the back. Yeah. So I think that's my end of my walk, so I'm gonna go back. Got one lesson tonight. I was thinking about scheduling another one, but it's 2 hours lessons at nighttime. It's just like really intense. So I gotta figure out what to do for Korean, because I finished Pimsleur. And also Pimsleur's not that great. I mean, it's good for speaking, but like my thing was like, I need to learn 100%. The reality is a lot of those Pimsleur words and stuff you won't really use in real conversations because it's too formal. So I gotta find some content maybe to shadow or something. And I've had my plan, my language learning plan, like to do Rosetta Stone and stuff like that. But now I've just been learning so long, I really don't need it anymore. I just can do what I'm doing and make it more simple. All right, so hopefully everything is good. It's like 45 minutes, all right? So hopefully I can make some text for it and just plug it up, and hopefully it's useful for you guys. So see you next time. I hope you enjoyed.